Hu Tao, you seem quite knowledgeable about many things. I've heard about something called on-call duty in IT operations. What exactly is its purpose?
On-call duty, it's quite a crucial role, especially in IT. Essentially, it means being available to address any issues that might arise in services, both during and outside typical working hours.
And this is specific to large tech companies like Google, for example.
Exactly. Google in particular has site reliability engineers, or SREs, who handle these responsibilities. They're unique because they blend traditional operational work with engineering projects.
How do SREs differ from traditional operational teams?
Well, traditional operational teams focus primarily on maintenance and ensuring systems run smoothly. SREs, on the other hand, also use their engineering skills to create software solutions that prevent issues or automate fixes.
Interesting. So it's more than just fixing things when they break?
Precisely. SREs are like the guardians of reliability. They work proactively, not just reactively, to ensure that services remain stable and that workloads are sustainable.
Sustainable workloads. How does on-call duty help achieve that?
On-call duty helps in identifying potential problems early, mitigating them before they impact performance or availability. It's all about maintaining a balance between operations and development work.
So they must be available at any time. How do they balance this with their engineering projects?
Great question. Google, for instance, ensures that their SREs don't spend their entire time on operations. They cap it so at least half of their time is on engineering projects, which keeps them engaged and brings innovation to problem solving.
That sounds like a complex balancing act. What kind of tasks are prioritized in this setup?
The focus is mostly on critical tasks that influence the service's reliability and performance. Routine maintenance gets automated to free up time for more impactful engineering work.
Automation seems crucial in this process. Is that a significant part of their duty?
Absolutely. Automation minimizes repetitive tasks and incidents requiring immediate human intervention, making the on-call experience much more manageable.
Are there any specific services that SREs focus on at Google?
Oh yes, they handle crucial services like search, ads, and Gmail. These services require constant attention due to their importance and scale.
Does such responsibility come with added pressures?
It can, but the role is structured to reduce stress. The blend of operations with engineering allows SREs to have more control and understanding of the systems they manage.
What happens if something does go wrong? How do these engineers respond?
When incidents occur, SREs are like agile problem solvers. They analyze the situation, implement quick fixes, and then engineer long-term solutions to prevent recurrence.
With such a critical role, how do they ensure that their workload doesn't overwhelm them?
Google uses a model where they define how much time should be spent on each type of work. This prevents burnout and keeps the engineers focused on quality and efficiency.
It appears this approach is tailored to handle large-scale operations. Is this model applicable to other companies as well?
It certainly can be. While Google's approach is specific to their needs, many principles, like balancing urgent tasks with long-term engineering projects, can benefit other organizations too.
It's fascinating how they incorporate such a methodology. Do all tech companies have similar practices?
Not all companies have the same complexity or scale, but many take inspiration from Google's SRE model to bolster their operational efficiency.
You've painted quite a picture of this dynamic role. Do you think embracing such a method offers a competitive edge?
Definitely. Having such strategic oversight ensures services remain reliable, which not only sustains user trust but also enhances the company's reputation and performance.
Are there particular skills or backgrounds that SREs needed to thrive in this environment?
A solid mix of systems and software engineering skills, alongside problem-solving prowess and a knack for automation, is key. It's a role for the analytically creative.
And for the new graduates entering this field, what mindset should they cultivate?
Curiosity and resilience. Staying curious keeps you learning. Resilience helps you adapt to the unpredictable nature of on-call work. They're the heartbeats of success in this field.
Sounds like SREs need to be ready for all possibilities. How do they keep their skills sharp?
Continuous learning is part of the culture. They engage in regular training and simulations to prepare for unexpected outages and stay aware of the latest technological advancements.
Does the emphasis on reliability and prevention make this role more fulfilling?
Most definitely, knowing one ensures the smooth functioning of critical systems brings a profound sense of accomplishment and purpose.
I've learned so much today about the fundamentals of on-call duties in IT. Is there even more to this depth of knowledge?
Oh, there's always more. Understanding the life of an on-call engineer and the intricacies of balancing these duties can open another chapter on this journey.
I'm intrigued. Let's continue diving deeper into this topic.
Glad to hear it. I have plenty more to share about how these engineers maintain balance and what their daily lives look like. Stick around and I will tell you more.
Hu Tao, I'm eager to know more about the daily responsibilities of an on-call engineer. What does their day look like?
Oh, it's quite the adventure. On-call engineers act like guardians over the systems they're responsible for. Their main tasks involve managing outages and vetting any changes that could influence production.
Managing outages sounds critical. How do they handle emergencies?
Each time there's an alert, they have this nifty paging system that notifies them in a jiffy. Whether it's through a phone, an app, or even an email, they're alerted almost instantly.
And they have to respond immediately, right?
Exactly. Depending on the critical nature of the service, reaction times can be as quick as 5 minutes or stretch to 30 for less urgent systems. It's all tied to what's known as service level objectives, or SLOs.
Service level objectives. Could you elaborate on that?
With pleasure. SLOs define the performance and availability standards a service must meet. For instance, a system with a 99.99% availability needs downtime limited to just around 13 minutes each quarter. That's quite a tight schedule.
Oh my, that does sound tight. How do engineers manage to stay on top of things at all times?
It's a team effort. Having both a primary and secondary on-call engineer is crucial. The primary tackles immediate alerts, while the secondary jumps in if the primary needs a hand or is unavailable.
This two-tier system must ensure no alert is missed. What happens if an alert isn't critical?
Great question. Non-critical alerts are usually handled during regular business hours. They take a back seat to any major incident that might pop up.
So, during shifts, these engineers are always on high alert?
For sure, the unpredictability keeps them on their toes. That's why rotation is key. It prevents burnout by spreading the on-call duties across the entire team.
Rotation schemes? Are there different types?
Indeed, there are. Some teams have designated primary and secondary roles, whereas others might rotate secondary duties among several teams, always covering for one another.
Why have secondary teams in the first place?
It's a safety net. In case the primary misses an alert or needs backup, the secondary is like a trusted sidekick ready to step up.
That's very thorough planning. Does every team employ the same strategy?
Not necessarily. Every team tailors its approach to its specific needs, ensuring the coverage is complete and effective.
This ensures that even during low alert periods, engineers remain sharp. How does the rotation work practically?
They typically rotate weekly, often ensuring each engineer is on call once a month, keeping them familiar with the systems they guard.
So it's about striking a balance, keeping skills sharp, yet preventing exhaustion.
Precisely. Mastering this balance lets the engineers maintain their edge and focus on both high and low priority tasks efficiently.
I imagine the coordination must be superb. Does this prevent issues from falling through the cracks?
That's the goal. The systems are designed to ensure every alert, big or small, receives the attention it deserves. These engineers are like air traffic controllers, ensuring smooth landings at all times.
What about engineers who are new to the rotation? How do they get up to speed so quickly?
They undergo thorough training, closely shadow more experienced engineers, and keep refining their skills with simulations and drills.
Training seems crucial in easing them into these roles. How do they handle situations where response needs to be immediate?
It often comes down to teamwork and rapid communication. They escalate issues when necessary, ensuring quick and efficient responses.
Escalations? Is there a protocol in place for that?
Of course, Google has set escalation paths and incident management procedures, smoothing the response to complex issues, ensuring effective resolutions.
It's remarkable how structured this process is. It must foster real confidence among the engineers.
Oh, definitely. When you know there's a well-oiled system backing you up, handling even the most daunting task feels achievable.
And this structure aids in reducing stress, doesn't it? It's intriguing how all these aspects come together.
It's a brilliant choreography, Speaking of intriguing, there's even more to unravel about maintaining balance in such dynamic roles.
Please continue. I'll admit this world is more fascinating than I imagined.
I'm thrilled you think so. Let's explore how engineers sustain that balance in on-call shifts, not just quantity, but quality too.
Hu Tao, you mentioned balance in on-call shifts. How does Google achieve that? It seems like quite the challenge.
It's a beautifully orchestrated process. To keep the workload manageable, they have something called the 25% on-call rule.
25% on-call rule. That's specific. What does it entail?
It means an SRE spends no more than 25% of their time on on-call duties. The rest is divided between engineering projects and other operational tasks.
That sounds like a precise balance. Why is it important to keep the on-call time to 25%?
Balance is key. If they spend too much time on on-call work, it can lead to burnout and reduce their ability to tackle engineering projects. Variety keeps them sharp and motivated.
Makes sense. How do they ensure they're not overloaded? What strategies are in place?
Several. They ensure there's always a primary and secondary person on call. And if the workload is too high, they might even grow the team size or shift to a multi-site team structure.
Multi-site teams sound complicated. What advantages do they offer?
Oh, they're fantastic! By distributing duties across different time zones, it eliminates night shifts altogether, which can be tough on health.
But I assume multi-site teams have their challenges too.
Exactly. There's always extra coordination needed between sites, but the trade-off is often worth it for the health and efficiency benefits.
So the goal is to avoid both operational overload and underload.
Precisely. Overload leads to stress and mistakes, while underload makes it hard to maintain the expertise needed to resolve complex issues.
How do they decide between single-site or multi-site setups?
It depends on factors like the importance of the system, how much work it generates, and a strategic mix of the team's capabilities and locations.
And if operational overload occurs, what's the solution?
They embed extra SREs as needed. It's like bringing reinforcements to help the team focus on tackling the excess load and the root causes.
Does the process include any specific action plans if the workload consistently exceeds limits?
Yes, they quantify their targets like reducing daily tickets or paging events, and strive to bring things back to a sustainable state.
That sounds very structured. What roles do compensation or incentives play in this balancing act?
Compensation is crucial. Google offers either time off in lieu or cash bonuses, with caps to ensure no one is swamped with too much on-call work.
Interesting. It prevents the risk of burnout by limiting on-call exposure, yes?
Exactly. It's about maintaining a balanced workload both in terms of hours and the nature of incidents handled.
How is the workload managed in terms of incidents per shift?
They aim for a maximum of 2 incidents per 12-hour shift, ensuring enough time for each incident, including post-incident activities.
So in essence, it's about maintaining a stable environment for both the service and the engineers.
You've got it. And when needed, they adapt and adjust resources, always striving for that golden equilibrium.
I appreciate how thought out it all is. Do they ever face difficulties in maintaining this approach?
Challenges arise, particularly in keeping incidents and alerts actionable without being overwhelming, but they continually refine strategies to tackle them.
It's a tightrope walk, isn't it? Balancing quality and quantity is no easy feat.
True, but it's incredibly rewarding too. Achieving that harmony means a robust, reliable service for users and a healthy work-life balance for engineers.
I suppose such a sophisticated system allows SREs to focus on what they do best.
Absolutely. With a stable environment, they can dedicate more energy towards innovative solutions and preventative measures.
This structured approach must reinforce a lot of confidence within the teams.
It does. Knowing there are clear systems and supports empowers them to tackle even the toughest challenges with poise.
I feel like I'm learning so much about their day-to-day life. So what's next in this complex world?
There's more to discover about how they keep this delicate balance without compromising on quality or innovation.
I am eager to continue this exploration with you, Hu Tao. Let's delve into more of these insightful strategies.
With pleasure, I'm ready to dive deeper into the specifics of how Google keeps its SREs supported and prepared.
Hu Tao, we've talked a lot about balancing on-call duties, but how does Google support its engineers during those challenging periods?
Supporting SREs during on-call periods is a cornerstone of Google's approach. It's about reducing stress and ensuring clear-headed decision-making.
Reducing stress. That sounds crucial. How do they manage to do that?
They've implemented well-defined incident management procedures, which streamline responses and ensure everyone knows their role when an incident occurs.
A clear process must foster confidence under pressure. Can you give me an example of how that works?
Absolutely. When an incident happens, there's a protocol to follow that includes escalation paths and defined communication steps. There's even a tool that automates many of these tasks.
Automation, even in incident management. That must save a lot of cognitive energy.
Exactly. It allows engineers to focus on resolving the issue instead of getting bogged down in mundane details like email formatting or multiple updates.
And about post-incident evaluations, I've heard there's a culture of blamelessness?
Yes, blameless postmortems are a vital part. They focus on what went wrong and what went right, avoiding finger-pointing and instead looking for systemic improvements.
So it's about learning from incidents without fear of blame. How does this culture contribute to the overall reliability?
By focusing on events and systems, engineers can target the root causes of problems. The emphasis is on deriving actionable insights and reducing human error through better automation.
This must encourage a healthy atmosphere where engineers feel safe to address issues honestly.
Absolutely, The trust it builds is invaluable, making sure the team works as a cohesive unit in even the most challenging circumstances.
And handling operational loads, how do they ensure it's neither too high nor too low?
They keep an eye on metrics to balance the load, ensuring not too many tickets or paging events occur beyond their limits.
That sounds like quite the juggle. What happens when these limits are breached?
Corrective measures kick in. They'll look into the root causes, perhaps tweak monitoring settings, or even temporarily add more resources.
But surely the load can't always be predicted perfectly. What if external changes lead to a sudden overload?
They work closely with development teams to adjust and adapt. Sometimes if things get too intense, they might give back the pager to developers.
Give back the pager. What does that entail?
Well, the development team becomes responsible for on-call duties temporarily until the system is reliable enough for the SRE team to manage again.
That partnership must bolster trust and collaboration between SREs and developers.
Definitely, it showcases the balance of responsibilities between maintaining feature development and ensuring system reliability.
How about when the systems are too quiet? Is that equally problematic?
It can be. It's called operational underload, where engineers could lose touch with systems, potentially leading to knowledge gaps.
How do they manage that gap?
They ensure each engineer does on-call stints often enough to remain familiar. Drills and disaster recovery training, known as DART, also help maintain sharp skills.
So it's like regular exercise to keep their responses fit.
Exactly, The goal is to maintain a balance of workload and continuous improvement.
This pipeline of support and resource management really helps paint a broader picture of Google's reliability strategy.
Yes, it's a comprehensive approach designed to ensure engineers are equipped for both reliability and innovation.
And constant improvement must make the role satisfying for those in it.
Oh, it does. Knowing you play a crucial part in keeping the systems and services running smoothly is deeply fulfilling.
Your explanations have made this clear and insightful. Is there a humorous side to all this?
Well, remember, the scariest thing during on-call isn't the pager going off, it's the silence before it does. But with a system like Google's, even the anticipation feels manageable.
Haha, I see your point. It's all about balancing the quiet and the chaos, isn't it?
Absolutely, with all the support and resources, those on-call adventures are just part of the grand tale of reliability.
Thank you, Hu Tao, for such a comprehensive and engaging journey through Google's on-call world.
My pleasure, I'm glad you enjoyed this peek into the reliable world of SREs.